Hello everyone, what a great turnout. I swear if you see out and all the people here, and I think it's important, the reason why we're here is to not only plant new life in the city of East Chicago, but also to honor our Mr. David Lane, a longtime teacher of East Chicago. So I want to say again, welcome to the city of East Chicago's, well, Mayor Anthony Copeland, the City of East Chicago's Arbor Day. This is our 4th year, I believe, that this has been happening in the city of East Chicago. And some of the previous areas have been Marktown. We did Roxana. We've done the golf course that we have here, MacArthur Golf Course. So we are continuing the tradition of continue to plant in East Chicago. But first, where there's people gathered, they say you should always have prayer. So we're going to start off with Pastor Kidd of the Antioch Missionary Baptist Church here in New Edition.
Let's bow our heads. God, we thank you for this great day as we gather together in this great community to celebrate each other, to celebrate our community. And God, it is so good to see progress being made, to see the trees being planted. You made trees, know all about trees, and they represent life, and they represent growth and development. Continue to grow us, to develop us, and to build us, God. And we will give you all of the honor, the praise, and glory. In the matchless name of Jesus, who is the Christ, we pray. Amen.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you again. When we started discussing, myself and Mr. Leo, as well as Mr. Drew Hart, when it came to where we were going to plant, they came to us and said, hey, you have a perfect spot in this area, and it's open. How can we get trees into the New Edition, into the area here, to Smith Park? So this came from their thoughts and their actions, and they said, we want to have a sound barrier in this area here. And me, not understanding, they had to explain to me what a sound barrier was. And the reason why they wanted this area was to protect what it was here, to give some type of protection from the sound, to give protection from the environment, as in they're able to build these trees and the pollution that comes from here, they're able to protect that, right? So it was very important to hear why they wanted to do this, and I didn't understand, but they were able to educate. So this is why the SCA and the U.S. Forestry gave us knowledge on why and the reason for this project. So I say that to say that there's a lot of thought and a lot of heart that came into this project. And again, I would like to thank just the mayor for his continuous support of planting trees for our community, not just for us who are, here and we're young, but yet the children that will come after us, that they'll see what they built. I just told Mr. Lane earlier, I went to Roxana and I saw the trees that we planted last year, and they're already flowering. They're beautiful reds and the whites, they're just flowering now. And I think that's so important that those students who come and plant every year, you're able to go and see what you've done. And I've always said, make sure you give into the community so you could continue to come back and continue to see what you could do elsewhere. And annually, we dedicate, first, let me also thank the Student Conservation Association for the partnership, the continued partnership, U.S. Forest Service, Community Tree, Faith in Place, and as always, the East Chicago Central students who come every year, as well as the volunteers that we have here today. Thank you all, because this would not happen unless it was for all of us putting our labor of love into the project. Again, I want to just talk about the dedication that we always do. Annually, we dedicate our tree planting to an individual or individuals, such as a veteran. We've dedicated it to nurses. We've dedicated it to community activists that have served the city of East Chicago. This year's honoree is an educator of over 28 years for the school city of East Chicago. Amen. He has educated, and this is solely in your English class, I had to do the math. So you've actually educated over 5,000 students just from your English course. But yet, if we all know Mr. Lane, we know that he not only is an English teacher, he's also the senior class sponsor. He's also the National Honor Society sponsor.
Yes.
He's also the announcer for the games at the Central High School. He's also a girls and boys tennis coach. He also... And I know I missed the sponsorship of someone somewhere, but at the end of the day, he's always just wanting to be known as just an all-around good guy. And literally in his tagline, it says, all-around good guy. So with that, Mr. Lane, me being a product of your class, as well as, and I think this is very important to say, Corel, who is also from the SEA. She's one of the leads here for SEA, and she knows how much you've given. And when I told her that this is what we wanted to do, gives an educator the knowledge, and I said the name, we all are able to just agree that you are a perfect candidate for this. Mr. Lane is being honored today because he exemplifies what it is to love your city. This is the mayor's tagline about I love my city, and while you may not reside here, Mr. Lane, you have spent so many years here and have given so much to our students that you exemplify the I love East Chicago motto. His countless hours of mentorship, education, love to students of East Chicago is just unmatched. Your continued leadership of teaching students to participate in activities for the city of East Chicago is so important. As you all know, to grow a plant, you need the sun, the air, oxygen, and like I stated before, you've given 5,000 students alone all of that. We thank you, we appreciate you, and know now this is a way of making you an honorary member of the city of East Chicago, because you will forever have trees planted in your name. I know one of your former students did ask to speak today, Mr. Denzel Smith.
Good morning, everyone. To the Honorable Mayor Copeland. What's up, Mayor Copeland? How you doing? To Coach V for arranging all of this and just being awesome as you are. Thank you for allowing me a few brief moments. If you know me, brief sometimes turn into about 8 hours, but I promise to keep it brief because it's cold. Coach V just gave us the biography of David Lane. I just want to add one word to it. For who he has been in my life. Yes, teacher, all of that, co-worker at a point, all of that great stuff. But I thought about it this morning when he texted me and said, "Will I see you today?" And the answer was absolutely yes. But the reason I'm here today is because Mr. Lane has been a friend to me. That stretches beyond the classroom. That stretches beyond Central High School. That stretches beyond East Chicago. When I moved away from East Chicago about 5 years ago, I wasn't sure when or if I would come back to East Chicago. I wanted to, obviously, because this is my home. But people like Mr. Lane, especially Mr. Lane, reminded me of the importance of having a friend like Mr. Lane, who will pick up the phone and say, "I'm just checking on you. I don't want to be in your business. How's everything going? Do you need anything?" And not just say, "Do you need anything?" but take it the next step further. Say, "I'm going to send you something. I'm going to send you a book. I'm going to send you an encouragement word. I'll send you some money if you need it." That's who Mr. Lane has been to me. I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for being so awesome, being so true, being such a tree in my life, a pillar of truth, a shade when I was too hot. Just all that you have been to me, Mr. Lane, to my family. My daughter, she loves you. My wife, she loves you. My mom, she loves you. Even my late father loves you. And I thank you for all that you are. You deserve this and so much more. So I think he deserves a round of applause. And as long as I'm alive, I will make sure the world knows Mr. David Lane's name. So thank you for all you do. I love you.
And before we bring up Mr. Lane, we have to bring up the reason why this is happening today, and it is our Honorable Mayor, Anthony Copeland.
Wow, it is a lot of people out here. And we all are here for one reason, and it's bigger than the tree. I was looking, and I'm doing a project at home, and I'm working with some plywood. And plywood have multiple layers in between. But in between those layers, you have something called laminin. It's the glue. It's what binds the layers together. And Mr. Lane, that's what you have done. That's what you have done. You have bind this community together. Our future generations, you have sprinkled some of your warmness in your heart into them. And just like Denzel say, wherever they go, they take a piece of you. I too have fell in love with you. You've been there with me from the inception of me becoming mayor, and I've been there 13 years. And you have always given honor to the title of mayor. So for that, I'm totally indebted. You are one that walked the walk, okay? Not talk the talk, he walked the walk, okay? And it's the one, it's that good Samaritan. He that good Samaritan they speak of in the Bible, So, Mr. Lane, I also want to tell you, and to you, Pastor Kidd, I just met with you recently, and my promise was the resurrection, of this community.
Yes, sir.
And that resurrection will start when Mr. Lane tree roots go down deep, deep, deep into the ground. And as them roots go down and that tree go up, so will this community rise. We'll put the plans together for the resurrection of this community. And Mr. Lane, it will be led by your tree. And as that tree take in the carbon monoxide and give out the oxygen, everybody in this community will breathe a piece of you. So again, I tell each and every one of you that's here, and I give honor to you today. I take my title and I transfer it to you. But again, everybody, I look out and they say when the people come together, tell them, Pastor, when the people come together in one accord, he's present, and he's present for what we're going to do today. So each and every one of you, thank you for coming out and lending a hand and watch this community prosper and watch this city grow. So thank you.
And now, the moment we've been waiting for. Mr. Lane, I'm asking you not to make me cry now, because I know you're going to make me. And I know you don't want to tell the story of how I made you, change your curriculum to bring some Spanish authors into the Central High School, but we could skip that story. But Mr. Lane, come on up.
Am I speaking?
Yes.
Well, thank you. I try to tell people all the time that a good leader leads from behind.
Yes, sir.
And doesn't take credit for things. So it's a little humbling to be here and hear these great things. I taught the mayor's daughter and taught Vanessa, and I brought 40 plus kids here today. Yes, I'm sorry, both daughters. Tony was my yearbook editor, so she and I work very closely together. I'll tell anyone that is joining this profession, any young teacher coming in, always please make it about the kids. Some people forget that sometimes. And hopefully if I'm remembered for anything, it's for being an advocate for the students of East Chicago.
Yeah.
We need our kids to know that there's so many people out there that believe in them. I started in East Chicago in 1993. I thought about that this morning. 1993, I came in, I didn't know anything about the city. I had student taught here and didn't know it was going to become my permanent home. I think it's very important for kids to have stability and people in their lives who will walk through walls for them, and people in their life that will always be there for them. So that's why it's important to me that I started my career and I will finish my career in East Chicago. And not anytime soon. Not anytime soon. Vanessa said, better not. Our principal A. Brown, is here. He also likes to lead from behind. I told Mr. Brown, as long as he's around, I'm going to be around because he's the right man for the job. And Mr. Brown is doing it for the absolute right reasons as well, for the kids. He's all about the kids. And I drive him crazy sometimes. Like today, I forgot to order lunch for the kids. And he looked at me and he says, Mr. Lane, you know, I put up with you only because you're about the kids. So thank you for that, Mr. Brown. And I am humbled that my former student gave me this honor. And I'm kind of like Denzel. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I do want to say one thing. Take a little bit of time each day to laugh. Take a little bit each day to cry. Take a little bit of each day to surround the people you love with love, and that makes every day a good day. So thank you very much. I'm beyond honored for this award. Thank you very much, and thank you to my students and former students for being here as well. Thank you very much.
I kept wondering why he was pointing at me.
Thanks so much.
So, Mr. Lane, that plaque will also go out where the tree planting is at, and it will say in dedication to you,
Hey,
David Lane, 2023.
hey, and it's not by chance an accident that both of us got EC hats
That's
on.
right. We're all about easy.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you so much.
Good. You deserve it. Next, we'll move forward for our tree planting demonstration, but first we'll have Mr. Drew Hart from the U.S. Department of Agriculture Forest Service. I always get it wrong every year. I'm sorry.
No worries at all. Good morning and happy Arbor Day to everybody on behalf of the U.S. Forest Service and the Community Tree Program. So happy to be here today, and we're really looking forward to planting over 70 trees here in the New Addition neighborhood. These trees are going to be providing so many benefits over the next generations to come. They help clean our air, they help clean our water, they provide us beauty, and we also use them to honor people like Mr. Lane. I've worked with the Community Tree Program now for about 7 years with Student Conservation Association. And Leo, you can come on up as well because you'll say a few words next. And I always have students that have been students of yours, Mr. Lane, and they always have talked highly of you. So it really means a lot that today we're going to be able to plant trees in your honor. So thank you so much. Arbor Day has been celebrated since about 1874. What a great holiday to remind us how important trees are in our life. And today I'm asking that as we're out here planting trees, and thank you so much for coming out to help us plant trees today, to always remember the importance of trees in our urban environment and what they do for us. And there's a saying that I like that I'll share, and then I'll turn it over to Mr. Leo Sawyers. Trees make good neighbors. Happy Arbor Day. Thank you.
Well, good morning again, everybody. And I mean, this is truly incredible. I don't know the exact count of the amount of people coming here to celebrate the educator, Mr. Lane, that we are going to be dedicating these trees to, and again, planting the trees. So again, I just want to thank everybody for showing up to be a part of this. And I do want to give a little bit of credit to the crew that has been doing a lot of the work, like Vanessa said, over the past years here in East Chicago, building the relationship, you know, working in the different communities and focusing on providing these trees that provide so many eco services to us. So I do want to acknowledge our crew. We have our crew here, the SEA crew led by Corel Perez, who was a student of Mr. Lane. And I also do want to thank and acknowledge some of the SCA staff here that we have today, coming from different parts. We have folks coming from Texas and Chicago, also showing their support not only for the organization, but the communities that we do work in. So I want to acknowledge them as well. And I also don't want to take up a whole lot of time because I know folks their hands are out of their pockets clapping and we're talking, but so I do want to keep us moving along. We do have quite a few trees that we do need to get in the ground so that we can do the appropriate honoring. So with that being said, I will step down, but I'll invite Vanessa back up here. Thank you guys.
That really concludes our program. Again, thank you all for coming, and I don't know if you guys would be showing demonstration here or do we want to go? So after this, if we could all just shift to the back where the trees are actually at, we'll gather around because they don't have the sound back there, but you'll have crew leaders kind of letting you know exactly what needs to be done for the digging and then how to plant and how to fill. So thank you all again for coming and investing into the East Chicago community. Mr. Lane, thank you again.
I was inspired because SCA was already doing plantings in several other East Chicago neighborhoods, and nobody was really, advocating for New Edition despite its issues. So I took it upon myself to bring the issue up to SCA and try to get the churches in this community behind this planting today in this park. So eventually we were able to forge some connections with the city of East Chicago that allowed us to do today's planting, and we're grateful. It's always important to advocate for environmental issues, especially in a neighborhood like New Edition with such a rich environmental history. At first, I go to college at Purdue Northwest for ecology. I'm a biology major with an ecology concentration, and I did several internships at wildlife rehabilitation centers like Humane Indiana, and there I learned about the pollution issues that Northwest Indiana face. So from that point on, I started searching for jobs that would help me in tree care and would help me learn essential skills basically for wilderness living. And that's how I came upon SCA, through job searching, site seminars. SCA landed in my lap. And I was happy that I was able to contact them because originally I was an intern. I got college credit. Now I'm a full-time crew member. I was able to find movement with them and actually do what I love, protecting the environment in my hometown of East Chicago, Indiana.
This is actually my third Arbor Day, Earth Day in East Chicago, so I'm really happy to see all you guys here, as well with the students of East Chicago. I also went to Central, so I'm glad to see you guys all the time. I know I've seen Mr. Lane, coming out here, bringing you all. I think that's an awesome, great experience for you guys. And I really wish, when I was in high school that I had that experience as well. So I'm glad to see that's something that's improving within the Central community in East Chicago. We have white pine, Norway spruce. We have redbuds, creeping junipers, common junipers that we'll be planting today as well. Some eastern red cedar, some burnt oak over in the corner. And yeah, we also have planting events. If you guys are interested in coming out, reach out to us, contact us on the SCA.org as well. I don't know, for you guys in EC Central, I don't know if you guys noticed the trees over in EC. Those are also planted by us last season. So I hope that you guys really appreciate those and, admire those every time you guys are on campus as well. And I guess we'll get started because I know if it gets She's coming. She wants to go get Mr. Lane!
You know, usually at this moment when we have events, especially when we're dealing with the youth, I usually tell them on the count of three, I used to say, at the count of three, we're going to say, I love my city, but this time, at the count of three, we're going to say, I love you, Mr. Lane, okay? 1, 2, 3.
I love you, Mr.
I love my city of East Chicago, my adopted city.
Okay, give me the expert.
Right here? Yeah, all right. So thank you. Yeah, so when we're planting a tree, you want to go ahead and uncover that root flare. The reason why we do so is that root flare is essentially where the tree gets its oxygen from. So if you end up covering that up, eventually it may not die right away, but it will given the time. So that is what Alex is doing right now. You might have to, dig out some of that soil because sometimes it does get covered up. And your root flare, just in case you guys didn't know, it is where the roots start to flare out. If you start to see the root flare circling around the bark, you want to try to straighten that out or cut that off. So as you can see, you have that little root sticking out, so that would be our root flare. So once you do that, you want to take your measurements to make sure how wide and how deep you want your hole to be. So you want depth-wise to be just as deep as your root flare. So what Alex is doing, he's taking the back of that shovel and aligning it with the root flare. So that's how deep our hole will be. For the width of our hole, we will take twice as wide as our root ball. So as Alex is doing so. And once you get those measurements, you want to put it where your tree placement is going to go. And once you have those measurements, you can go ahead and start doing 2 separate piles. We like to do 2 separate piles, with one pile being the grass and another pile being the soil. And we will essentially go back and reuse everything that we removed from the earth.
Good.
Right here? Where you want us to work?
Yeah, right now.
So you just want to take that top layer of that grass. You don't have to go too deep. Just the top first layer.
It's sharper. It's sharper.
You're better at this than me. There you go.
Lower though.
That's gonna be the hard part.
How are we going down?
You don't know what's under here.
Pile of this. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I got you.
I think it might be deep enough. You go into the next step. You go into the next step.
We come on.
Mr. Lane is more than a teacher to me. I used to struggle a lot in school, and he was one of the only teachers that would actually help me out, make sure that I'm doing good in other classes, and always checking up on me. And anytime I text him when I need him, he's always there to check up on me. And I just feel like he's one of the most wonderful people I've ever met before. It's been a tough year, but like I've been getting more involved in school activities because of him. He's been letting me basically be involved in a lot of school events and around the community. So to me, Mr. Lane is he's just one of the most loving and kind-hearted people ever. And he always makes sure that everyone is satisfied. And I really love that about him. He's just like a real good friend to me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And what you're curious, we stop around to think you reach your depth and your hole. You want to go ahead
Melissa's doing and hop in there. And stop, make sure that I'm trying to be as loud as possible, so I'm sorry if I'm screaming. I apologize. But yeah, so the reason why we do that is to get rid of those air pockets, because essentially when
You want dirt back in there?
water,
Yeah. Take some back in there, right?
if there's air pockets, it will cause it to start leaning over. So that's the reason why we do that.
You want a little more dirt? You good? A little more, you good? I think check that out.
So you want the roof layer to be at ground level?
A little more
So
dirt?
a little bit more. So
There you go.
they
There you
dug the
go.
hole way too deep, which is why they're putting some soil back in. And again, just redoing that process of making sure that there's no air pockets.
Oh, yeah. I got to get out here and do it myself.
Yeah, that looks good.
Right?
That looks good.
Once that roof layer is at ground level, you want to make sure you look at your tree before putting in the soil. Does this tree look straight to you guys?
No.
All right, so you want to make sure that the bottom third of that tree is standing straight. Not every tree is going to be perfect. So you want to lean the tree the opposite way of where you want it to be straight. And you go ahead and put that soil back in. And once you get most of that soil in, Alex will use the back of that rake. You always want to use the back side of the rake. The reason why we do so is that we don't want to damage the grass too much. You want to get as much as possible. And whatever you are unable to put back into the hole, just scrape it side to side like how Alex is doing, just so it's just not sitting on top of the grass and it can continue to grow. Once you have all that soil in, you want to go ahead and do what we call the tree dance. So this is a moment where you can make any type of moves, whatever you'd like. If you want to put one foot in, and again, it's just to remove that air pocket in the soil. And in the moment that you're planting, you will more than likely cover up that root layer, but as long as you uncover that at the end or at any point, you should be fine. Because again, you want to leave that root layer uncovered at all times. So now that we've done our tree dance, we're going to go ahead and take that grass that we removed and put it around the tree. We place it upside down. The reason why we do so is so that the grass doesn't continue to grow and take away those nutrients away from the tree.
Okay.
And it also is our base for when we come back into the mulch.
Hi, my name is Marlon Perez. I am a junior at East Chicago Central High School, and today I'm here to honor Mr. Lane on Arbor Day. Mr. Lane has been a huge impact in my life. My whole family has known Mr. Lane, and I am, so grateful to be here and so grateful to have him as a teacher and a coach as well. He has done amazing things, and I'm just so grateful that we're here to honor somebody like him. Today we're just planting trees and trying to make our community as beautiful as possible. Not that it isn't already, but just, see it grow and it become a better and bigger place.
Cities all around where the mulching, they don't do such a great job when it comes to the mulching. I don't know if you guys seen in your city, sometimes they'll put the mulch where what we call volcano style, so where the mulch is up to the trunk, and that's something that you don't want to do. So if you ever see that from a landscaper, you want to let them know, hey, you don't want to do that. If you're doing doing some gardening at home, that's a good tip for you guys to know as well. So the correct mulching way would be to create a donut-like. So again, you want to leave that roof layer uncovered, but still leaving a little thin layer in the middle of that. And you're creating what we call a donut, or kind of a bowl. And that the bowl becomes kind of really helpful for when we go back and water it, so that the water stays in the middle and the tree is able to soak up all that water.
Give me the clap. Clap.
And just like that, we planted our first tree. So I would like to invite you all. We do have some gloves in the Aldi bag right behind you guys. If you guys want to grab some gloves, grab some shovels, grab some rakes.
How does it feel?
Oh man, it's humbling and it's unexpected. And thank you to Vanessa, thank you to Mayor Copeland, and it's an honor I'll never forget. Thank you so much.
Me and Lane, because Mr. Lane has always been like a great teacher, a great coach. Ever since I started freshman year in high school, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. And so as soon as like I joined his tennis team, I was like, okay, I'll check this out. And ever since then, Lane has always been like, he's just been that guy, you know? Like, no matter what, if I ever felt down, I felt sad, he'd be like, hey, we're not doing anything until Ray feels happy, until Ray smiles or something. Lane, like, he's a great person. And I'm grateful for him being in my life. Without him being around me to experience doing like volunteer work and stuff like that, then I'm pretty sure my high school years would have been worse than what they were. This event, I feel like it's extremely important because living in like a town where there's a lot of pollution and it's not like the air here isn't like as great as it could be. I feel like trees are very important to be planted. There's so many areas in DC where there's just buildings just torn down that can easily just like strip so we can like plant more trees or something like that. This is my first year doing something like this and I really love it.
Yeah, I'm from the Environmental Protection Agency. I'm a life scientist there in the Environmental Justice Program. and we're here today to help out with the tree planting and spread some information on how people can control asthma with the air pollution.
Well, my name is Saul Reda. I go to East Chicago Central High School, and I'm a senior. I'm here with a few classmates of mine, and we're helping set up some trees. We mainly came because Mr. Lane.
Yeah, to celebrate our
Yeah.
teacher.
Something you guys want to tell us?
We were proud of him.
Mr. Lane, you're a really good teacher, a really good
Yes.
coach, and I'm so glad that you're my teacher, and I appreciate everything you do for us. Love.
With love.
With love. You still love?
Me? Well, Mr. Lane is a really good coach for me, and I learned a lot to not give up and anything like that. And I feel like he could be like a second father to me, honestly. And I'm really proud of him for everything he's done. Yeah.
Same. I met Mr. Lane my freshman year, and he has motivated me, encouraged me to not give up and to keep continuing my studies. And like I've been working alongside him with student government and NHS, and yeah, I'm just very proud of him and very happy to work with him for the betterment of the community.
Although I personally don't have Mr. Lane as a teacher, I really have to. I'm grateful for everything that he does for the senior class and sponsored for NHS and student government, as you said. But I've seen that he does help a lot of students, like motivate them and to keep pushing themselves when they feel like they're giving up. And I'm grateful that we have teachers around, like, to motivate other teachers to be more motivational for students.
Hi, I'm Christine Diploma with the North and Green Earth Foundation, and happy to be here to plant trees today on Arbor Day. Happy Arbor Day.
Yeah.